What's going on, team? Hope everybody's having the best morning ever. Just fix my damn shirt here. Get myself ready. Hope y'all ready for Unstoppable, episode 71. We're about to absolutely fucking smash it. We're going live in 3, 2. Let's go. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Unstoppable, the elite mind and body podcast for men. I'm your host, Taj Howell. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going through episode 71 of Unstoppable. This episode is entitled, How to Train for Any Fitness Goal. How to train for any fitness goal. And it all starts with setting the right goals, okay? Because when people set fitness goals, they usually set goals that they're either never going to achieve or are too small, or don't get them excited, or are too big, or are too short in time frame, or don't make any fucking sense. What I want to do right now is share with you how to set the right goals and understand exactly where you need to go. Okay, so first of all, okay, fat loss. I want you to understand the timeline on fat loss. Anytime you're looking to lose fat, your goal should be to lose 1% of your body mass per week. Your goal should be to lose 1% of your body mass per week. So if that means if you're 200 pounds and you're looking to lose fat, your goal should be 2 pounds of fat loss per week. If you're 300 pounds, then your goal should be 3 pounds per week. If you're 150 pounds, your goal should be 1.5 pounds per week. Very, very, very simple. Okay. I like to round up and down based on every 50 pounds. Okay. So if you're 200 to 250, I'll just round that down to 200 and do 2 pounds a week. If you're 250 to 300, then I'll focus on 2.5 pounds a week. If you're 300 to 350, then I'll do 3 pounds a week. It kind of works like that. Okay. So fat loss is 1% of your body mass per week. Now, for muscle gain, okay, for muscle gain, and this is for men, by the way. I specialize in training men. I've worked with over 600 men over the last decade. I understand the male body. I understand how to transform it. Okay. For muscle gain, your goal is going to be to gain 1 to 1.5 pounds of lean muscle per month. 1 to 1.5 pounds of lean muscle per month if you have good levels of natural male testosterone. If you're not using any performance-enhancing drugs, you're not doing testosterone replacement, or even if you are doing testosterone replacement and your levels are at a good level, you're still going to be able to gain 1 to 1.5 pounds of lean tissue per month. That's what I typically hit month over month with every single one of my clients. We can hit it like clockwork. It's very consistent, and the results are astounding over the course of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. People can look absolutely incredible by being patient and gaining the right amount of weight. Okay, so you want to set the right goals. Now, let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're 200 pounds, okay, and you need to lose 30 pounds to get your six-pack. The goal would be to take 15 weeks, lose 2 pounds a week, get the six-pack. Then the goal, let's say the goal after that, you want to gain 10 pounds of lean muscle after that. You get to 170, and then you transition into a muscle gain phase where your goal is 1.5 pounds of muscle per month over the course of 6 months. And over the course of 6 months, you'll be able to get to 180. Okay, so hope this makes sense. 15 weeks, we're shredding up, and then 6 months, we're building up 10 pounds of lean mass. So essentially, you're looking at a 9 to 10 month process in order for a person to go from 200 down to 170, back up to 180 in the best shape of their life, looking like a fucking superhero. That's how this works. This is what I do with every single client that I work with. You need to set the right goals. Most guys would have set the goal at 200 to get to 180. They'd be like, yeah, in 6 months, I want to be 180 with a six-pack. No, motherfucker. No. In 3.5, 4 months, you're going to have a six-pack, yes, but your ass isn't going to be 180. You still got to build muscle first. Most people have this skewed sense of understanding on what kind of goals they need to set. You need to set the right goals. They have to make sense. You have to do one thing at a time. Never look to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Always do one thing at a time at a very good level. And I always recommend getting lean first. Get lean first. Get your six-pack first. Look good first. And then build size and strength. Now, listen, if you're listening to this and you're like resonating, you're like, holy smokes, like this guy is like spitting fire. He's spitting facts right now. And if you want me to actually assess your current situation, where you currently are with your training, with your nutrition, with your mindset, and what you need to do moving forward in order to hit your goals, I want you to type goals into the chat box right now. Okay. Type goals into this live stream. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions to get some more information about you. And I'm going to send you a full video audio assessment of your current situation later today, me, myself, to help you plan out exactly the timeline on what you need to do in order to reach your goals over the next couple of months. So write goals in the chat box right now. Okay. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, actually, before I move the fuck on, we need to talk athletic performance. Okay. Because if your goals are athletic performance, you need to have the right timeline as well. Okay. We just talked about fat loss, 1% of your body mass a week. We talked about muscle gain, which is 1 to 1.5 pounds of lean muscle growth per month. Now, athletic performance is very different because as athletic performance, depending on your skill level, you're going to need a different amount of time. I'm going to give you 2 examples of myself. Okay. Or 3 examples. When I wanted to become a WBFF fitness pro, okay, which I was able to do at age 21, I decided that I wanted to do it at age 19, and I gave myself 2 years to build up the size in the body in order to get there. Okay. I gave myself 2 years. I didn't say in 6 months I'm going to become a pro. It's like, no, motherfucker. I had to put in the fucking work first. Okay. So I gave myself 2 years to get to the level where my athletic performance was good enough and body was good enough and physique was good enough to become a pro. I'll give you another example. Example number 2. A couple of years back, maybe like 2 years ago, I wanted to really take my surfing to another level. Okay. I was 195 pounds at the time, and I wanted to take my surfing to the next level. And so I gave myself 18 months to focus on my surfing and focus on getting leaner and focusing on getting more conditioned and losing a little bit of muscle and a lot of body fat so that I could be at an acceptable weight and ratio of muscle to fat to surf. Okay. Took the 18 months, got pretty good at surfing. Now I can pretty much surf any wave unless they're like 10 feet plus. Like I can surf any wave, any point, whenever I want. And I'm conditioned enough to do so, which is awesome. And I weigh 180 to 185 right now. I gave myself 18 months to work on the athletic performance that I needed to work on in order to get to the point where now I can go to Brazil if I want. I can go to Chile if I want. I can go to here in Dominican Republic. I can surf wherever I want in the world as long as the waves aren't too crazy, right? So athletic performance depends on what skill you're trying to learn. Like if I wanted to go play baseball in a men's league, I've never played baseball, dude. Like I'd have to give myself a solid year, 2 years to actually get good at baseball. I don't want to play baseball, but it's just an example. But I will give you the last final example. I am fighting in boxing next January or February for my 30th birthday. And I decided that I was going to fight in summer of 2023. So I'm giving myself literally 18, 19, 20 months to develop the skill of boxing. And I'm only just now 9 months into this process of doing boxing 5 days, 6 days, every fucking week, where I can actually spar. I can actually dodge punches. I can actually move technically. I actually look kind of like a fighter after 9 fucking months. Athletic performance is about analyzing your goal, analyzing your skill set right now, and then implementing a timeline that makes sense. If I said I was going to fight within 6 months, I would have got my ass handed to me because I just don't have the skill. You have to be realistic with your goals. Okay. So you have to set the right goals. That's number 1. Number 2 is to understand the different types of training. There are 3 different types of training. Number 1 is cardio. Okay. Number 2 is weights. Number 3 is sport. Okay. I'll give you a couple examples of cardio. A couple of examples of cardio is steady state cardio, right? Anything steady state, walking, jogging, elliptical, bicycle, rowing, fucking assault bike, whatever it is. Okay. Steady state cardio. The second form of cardio is high intensity interval training. Okay. High intensity interval training cardio. So it could be, for example, stair sprinting on the same cardio machine, or it could be sprinting on the elliptical machine and then taking 1 minute rest. Or it could be muscle sparing cardio, which is what I recommend. And the reason why I say muscle sparing, even though that's not technically a term that is used in training manuals and stuff like that, is because when you do HIIT, high intensity training with weights, you get the same level of increase in heart rate. You also get the same amount of calorie burn as high intensity training on the cardio machine, but at the same time, you're also breaking down muscle tissue, which leads to maintaining your muscle. That's why I call it muscle sparing. I had someone actually pick apart that video that I made and pull open this textbook, and he was all like, "There's no such thing as muscle sparing cardio." I'm like, bro, I made up the fucking term because it makes sense. right? Like if you're doing high intensity cardio, but you're doing it in a way to where your muscles are stimulated as opposed to just going and running a marathon or like running and sprinting or something like that, you're going to maintain more muscle because you're breaking your muscle tissue down. It just makes sense, right? So high intensity interval training or steady state cardio, those are the two types of cardio. Weights, okay? Weights is the other type of training. We could do powerlifting, right? For in the rep range of 1 to 6. We could do hypertrophy style training in the rep range of 8 to 12. We can do muscle conditioning in the rep range of 20 plus, right? Weights is just weights. It just depends on what kind of weight you're using and how many reps you're doing. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Now, the third type of training is the actual sport that you would be doing. So for me, in my career, it's been surfing. It was football when I was in high school, surfing. I still surf to this day. I love surfing. And then now boxing because I actually want to fight people. It's going to be a lot of fun. So whatever sport you're choosing, whether it's golf, whether it's basketball, whether it's hockey, men's league hockey. I got a lot of guys on my team that play men's league hockey, soccer, whatever the fuck it is, right? You've got to learn what types of training are best for your specific situation. And as a matter of fact, that's what we're about to talk about right now. Let's talk about the ratios of training, okay? Because now we have the three types of training: the cardio, the weights, and the sport, okay? Now what you need to do is just analyze your goals and say, okay, and I'll just give you an example of myself because I've already given you examples on this podcast of myself. Okay, so when I wanted to transition from bodybuilding to surfing, this is what I did. I said, okay, right now I'm pretty much 75% like weights, 25% cardio. Here and there, I would do a little bit of cardio. Now what I need to do is I need to implement sport and I need to maintain my muscle. So what I did was I split it 50-50, 50% sport, which is surfing, 50% bodybuilding to maintain my muscle size. Okay. So that's what I implemented. I didn't do any cardio because the sport acted as the cardio. Okay. And that's the other thing is sport. Some of these things can cross over, right? Weights can cross over with cardio. Sport can cross over with cardio. That's kind of how it works. So what I ended up doing was shifting my ratio of training from 75% weights and 25% cardio to 50% sport, which was surfing, and 50% weights. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are following along still. Now, what I'm doing now for my boxing is this. I was doing pretty much 100% weights before I started boxing. I was just doing weights, just focused on building size, just focused on building strength. I wasn't surfing that much. I was just focused on hammering it in the gym with high intensity weights. Like I would do my sets with limited rest, superset them. I'd be sweating like a pig. It was still practically cardio what I was doing because of the way that I trained. That's why, again, I say that things can cross over. My weights were essentially a cardio session, which is why I didn't need a full cardio session. Now, transitioning into boxing, what I've done is I've shifted the ratio. What I'm doing now, because I'm actually looking to destroy another human male in physical combat, you have to take that very seriously. What I'm doing now is I'm looking to do 66%, okay, 66% sport, 66% boxing, 33% weights. So the way that I do that now, the way that I've shifted things is I do 3 days a week of weights. Monday I do pull. So yesterday I did pull. Wednesday I do push. And Friday I do legs. Okay. All 6 days of the week, Monday through Saturday, I'm boxing for an hour. Okay. So that's the 66% of sport. And then what I also do is Tuesday, Thursday, I do boxing conditioning. So I actually do high intensity training with my head movements, with my skipping. So I do that on Tuesday and then some little bit of cardio. And then what I do on Thursday is I do an actual run. So I'm going to be going and actually running. This is going to be the first time. And I'm going to make a post about it. It's going to suck ass, but it's got to get done. So as you guys can see, 66% now is dedicated to my sport and 33% is dedicated to my weights, to maintain my size, to maintain the way that I look, to maintain my physique, because my physique is pretty much what motivates many of you guys to do what it is you're doing and to take your physique to the next level. So I got to maintain that physique. Now, I'm going to take a quick second to remind you that if you want me to do a full assessment of your current physical situation, and you want me to give you a timeline on what you need to do physically, mentally, with your training and nutrition in order to reach your next level body, your next level goals, then type goals in the chat box right now. And I'm going to send you over a couple questions and send you over a video, an audio visual assessment of your current situation later today. That's going to give you an exact timeline on what you need to do in order to hit your goals, as well as actionable strategies that you can use starting fucking today in order to take your physique to the next level. All right, so type goals in the chat box. Next thing I want to talk about, after you have your ratios, okay? After you have your ratios built, the next thing you need is you need to implement variations, okay? You need to implement variations into your training. You can't just train the same way and expect better results. You need to make sure that you're adding and implementing different styles of training variations to your weights especially, and even to your sport, in order to make sure that you're continuing to progress. So I'm going to give you a couple different examples of training variations for weights right now. The first training variation would be to superset your workouts. Okay, so instead of doing 3 sets of 10 or 4 sets of 10 on bench and then doing 4 sets of 10 on flies, what you could do is do 3 sets of 10 on bench and then 3 sets of flies with no rest and then rest, right? So supersetting is one option. The next option is giant setting. So instead of doing 2 exercises, you could do a whole chest workout back to back to back without any rest. You could do bench press, chest flies, cable flies, machine flies, push-ups, all in order without any rest, and then take a rest. Okay, so the giant sets. The third training variation that you can use is pause reps. So we pause at the point of maximum either stretch or maximum tension on the muscle for anywhere from 2 to 4 seconds, and then we explode that back into contracted position. So pause reps is another training variation that you can use. Another training variation that you can use is negatives. I call them German because they're German style reps. Essentially, we do 4 seconds or 3 to 4 seconds on the eccentric portion of the movement, 1 second on the concentric portion of the movement. It makes your workouts and your time under tension way, way, way longer. And the most anabolic time under tension range is 45 to 50 seconds for each one of your exercises. So German is a great option as well. Another training variation that you can use is another training variation that you can use is explosive reps, where we're actually doing, and the people who use this one are the guys typically that are looking for more power in a specific rep range. But what you do is you explode in a specific portion of your rep range and keep it in there. So you could be doing bench at the bottom level, only half reps, but it will help with your explosive power in the bottom portion of the movement. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. And the next thing I want to talk about is your set amounts. Okay. So the latest research has shown that if you're doing 6 to 8 sets of a muscle, that is sufficient for muscle growth, for muscle breakdown, and in order for you to build more muscle. Okay. So if you're doing 6 to 8 sets on biceps, 6 to 8 sets on triceps, you're good to go. Your arms are good. You can literally pick 2 to 3 exercises for your biceps and for your triceps. As long as you blast them out to failure on those sets, you're going to get the same amount of growth as if you do 10, 15 sets. It's actually a point of diminishing returns that they found, where post 6 to 8 sets, you're not getting the same amount of returns as if you just stick with 6 to 8. So that means that your workouts they don't have to be much longer than 30 to 45 minutes if you put in the right amount of work and if you do the right things. Okay. The next thing is rep ranges. I already talked a little bit about this, but anywhere from 1 to 6 is focused on strength. Anywhere from 8 to 12 is typically focused on hypertrophy if you're doing slow enough reps, okay, to hit that 40 to 50 seconds range that we need in each set to maximize hypertrophy. And anything over 15 to 20 is muscle conditioning. And that's going to be better for people who are looking to be conditioned, lose a ton of body fat, and or be explosive and have good cardiovascular endurance with the specific exercise that they're looking to perform. Okay, it's also good for sport. Okay, now, guys, I hope this helped. I want you to be able to train for any fitness goal that you have. I'm committed to giving you guys the absolute best in terms of fitness content possible. And I genuinely want to see you succeed in every area and every facet of your life. If you want me to assess your current situation, all you have to do is type goals in the chat box box. And what I'm going to do is send you over a full assessment of your current situation, tell you exactly what you need to do physically, mentally, with your training and nutrition to start dialing in your fitness, dialing in your physique, and getting yourself to the next level. Okay, so type goals in the chat box right now, and we are going to take this shit to the next level. All right, I'm going to hang on here. I'm going to hang tight here real quick while you guys go and do that. If you're still watching and you haven't typed goals, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life, but type the shit in. Get it done. And I'm not going to take off my sunglasses. You know why? Because it's fucking sunny outside. And my eyes are light. I have light eyes. So when I see stuff that's bright out, my eyes kind of hurt. So like my shades. All right. You guys have the best week of your motherfucking lives. We'll see you tomorrow in tomorrow's episode. Tomorrow or Thursday. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to do another countdown timer on it. Have the best day of your lives. We'll see you guys soon. Peace out.